Hey everybody, welcome back. We're live here at Hops and Grain. I'm Chris Petrafka with Music Firsthand, and I'm thrilled to be back. And before we introduce our guest tonight, for those of you that have tuned in, thank you very much. As you know, we are a group of volunteers, and we do this because we love Austin music, and we're thankful that we live in a city like Austin where we can do this, to feature Austin musicians. And so I'm super excited to be here with comedian Melody Shiflett.
Hi, I'm a comedian.
She's a comedian. But we actually have a surprise guest tonight that we didn't really tell you about, and I'm super excited to have, is Natalie Fan. Welcome.
Hi,
Give it up for Natalie.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So Natalie runs On Vinyl Media, which is what we're big fans. I've known Natalie for about a year now, and I love what she is doing to help local Austin musicians. She also runs a really incredible blog in town that we all follow as well. And so Natalie, tell us about your startup. Tell us what you got going on at South by. Let's hear about On Vinyl Media.
Sure. So I started in the music industry when I was in college. I started a radio station called Topper Radio over at St. Edward's University. And when I graduated, I couldn't take it with me. So it kind of metamorphosized into On Vinyl. And what we do is we help brands tell their story through music. We go into the retail environments and we curate music for them that is local and locally sourced, locally based music from Austin musicians that we just love. And so we're super hyper locally focused, and we like to work with local brands too. So we're getting ready to do a relaunch in a couple of weeks, and so we've been working on a new technology platform that just has more functionality for our clients, and we're really excited about it. It's an online platform. We're building out a mobile app for it as well, so our clients will actually be able to go and use their phones or iPads or whatever it is, plug it into their sound system in their stores, and play local music.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then you've got the blog that you have as well. You've had that for a while.
Yeah, we have worked on it for a while. That's how it kind of started, and we didn't really have a direction when we started it, but from all the local connections that we just gained throughout the years, we started building it to be more and more locally focused, and now it is completely 100% a promotions website for local musicians.
Yeah. But then today, if they're watching now, if we have local businesses watching or watching later, do they just go to onvinylmedia.com?
Yeah, go to onvinylmedia.com and then check us out.
You can catch Natalie at South by. She is a featured panelist and speaker during the conference, so we're excited about that.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
Fancy.
Super excited.
How
I'll
did
be
you
at
get
the
that
Hilton.
spot?
I am going to be at the MediaTek panel at South by on March the 15th, and I'll be speaking about fundraising for music tech.
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Well, Natalie, thanks for coming on.
Yeah,
we're so
thank you
thrilled.
so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Hey, give it up for
appreciate
Natalie,
it.
everybody.
Yeah. Woo.
Thank you.
Nice. Thanks
Yeah.
for coming, Natalie.
Yeah, thanks.
All right. Well, hey, if you're watching online too, your likes and shares is what keeps the show going. And please send in your questions because we're not nervous about this guy being able to talk. Because he's talked a lot. And so we're thrilled to have Johnny Goudie. Come on up,
Give
man.
it up for Johnny Goudie, everybody. Yeah. Nice to see you, man. How's it going?
Hello. It's nice to be
Welcome.
here.
Yeah.
Welcome. So, Johnny, let's start with a song.
Yeah.
want me
let's
to start
go
with the
for it.
song?
Yeah, let's do
Go
it.
for it.
This is a song I wrote with one of your recent guests,
Oh.
Jamie Harris. This is a song we wrote that's going to be on my new E EP.
Cool.
She comes by every single day to tell me how much noise I make. Well, I'm walking, I'm keeping her up. And the rent's getting higher, the floor's never been thick enough. She says she's got to get some sleep. Every day's like hell, set on repeat. I'm sorry, it's the same old line. Well, I've given it all, but now I'm taking mine. got something that they're hiding from. Oh, everyone's got something that they're dying from. Oh, and everyone's got someone they can't trust enough. Everyone's got something that they're hiding from. Oh, oh. She says her man rolled out with the tide. She drowned in the ocean that she cried. I love you, I love you, I love you, it's never enough. And the world will just leave you alone when the seas get rough. Oh, and everyone's got something that they're hiding from. Oh, and everyone's got something that they're dying from. Everyone's got someone that they trust too much. Oh, and everyone's got something that they're dying from. Something that hurts, something that hangs around. Thanks. Thank you.
And that's off your new EP.
Yes,
is that right?
that's. I don't. You know, this is the thing: is I recorded 4 songs, but I don't know if I'm going to release them all together as an EP or release 4 singles spread out over time.
Oh.
I'm trying to figure out what's the best thing for me to do right now.
What
It's
if it
being
could
mixed,
be?
so it's done,
Yeah.
and
It just
and it's
is how
in the-
you want to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's the best way to do it?
What do you think? You don't know.
That,
Good
yeah,
question.
I actually don't know.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
I'm
that
starting
would,
to think
yeah.
that releasing a single a month. I had a friend of mine that was like, "Oh, you should just release a single a month, like 10 singles in a year, and at the end of the year, if you get enough downloads and there's demand for it, then press a vinyl record, start
like it.
over again."
Have you thought of a general name if you were gonna release an EP?
What I would call it? No, not yet.
Oh, because then
Isn't
they
that
could
weird?
each be like chapters if you had them
That's true.
so it's like chapter 1, 2, 3, you know, and then if
Right.
you do release it, it already has a name and that's like consistent. But I don't know, or maybe like a choose your own adventure thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I do like that idea, though.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
you could release like a 5-inch,
Yeah.
a cassette tape, an 8-track.
A 5-inch?
You know, or I'm sorry, like a little, you know,
7-inch.
7-inch. Sorry. I was thinking of those little mini CDs, just weird stuff that no one listens to. Don't do that. Don't take my advice.
I was going to release it just all on 8-track because
Oh, I
I hear
love
that
it.
might be coming
It's
back
coming
in like
back.
3
yeah.
years.
Yeah.
Well,
New
you know,
Teslas.
that
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
goes with your
New
like.
Teslas all have 8-tracks.
I was listening to some of your stuff earlier, and some of your other stuff that you did with not Skyrocket, but the Little Champions.
Little Champions, yeah.
That had kind of a like vocally like a T-Rex vibe.
Yes, it does.
So I
Yeah.
was thinking, you know, if you're still doing that sound, you should put it on 8-track, you know, just to stay.
It would be perfect.
Consistent. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a huge T-Rex fan. Thanks for noticing.
Yeah, of course. I
Yeah.
can hear it for sure.
Thanks.
So with
Is that
the-
bad?
Oh no,
Oh,
it's,
no,
a,
okay.
it's a great thing. No, I love T-Rex. I think
Okay,
also
good.
like people don't celebrate him enough. I think I don't
No.
know.
No.
Maybe I'm wrong about that, but
Yeah, we'll ask the fans later if T-Rex is bad. We'll
Is it-
find out.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll judge you later. It's all on YouTube later. We'll
well,
get judged.
and you know it doesn't matter what they say because he's still good. So you're wrong. if
But,
you think he's bad, you're wrong.
What is different about the new album? Because you're kind of, to me, coming back to the start, right? It's under your name.
Yeah, well, I did a lot of stuff I had early bands like in the late 80s and early 90s when I lived in Houston. I had a band called Panjandrum that did very well down there. We traveled a lot around the region, and then I was in a band called Mr. Rocket Baby from here for a couple of years that did well as well.
right, yep.
And then I did stuff under my own name, and then I started the band Goudie. But the difference between this is that like the record I did before the Little Champions record was a record I did all by myself in the studio, just playing everything and like I was the only person there.
Oh, yeah.
So I was trying to get going and start a new record or a new recording, and I was doing it like that, and I wanted to get away from me and get like somewhere new. And so my friend Scrappy Judd Newcomb and I were in the house band of the Dudley and Bob 25th anniversary show. And during the course of that, I was telling Scrappy where I was at with my music, and he was like, well, man, we should just do a record like with this house band. And so that's what it was, a house band from the Dudley and Bob 25th anniversary. We went and recorded.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, and you are kind of like the Where's Waldo of the Austin music scene, right?
that's
like you're
true.
just kind of like,
Yes.
oh, there he
That's
is.
funny,
There's
yeah.
Johnny.
Maybe
Yeah.
I am there.
I think I saw Johnny again.
I do end up in some weird places.
Oh, yeah?
Which is good, yeah.
Well-
I mean, like places you wouldn't really expect. Like I did a record with Kimmy Rhodes a couple years ago,
Okay.
where I co-wrote and sang a lot of the stuff on it. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah,
What
right
would you
on.
say is like one of the weirdest people that you ended up working with, like that you just never would have guessed?
Yeah, besides us.
I mean, honestly, if you know me and my musical taste and where I come from musically, the weirdest thing I think that I was ever stuck into was having Lars Ulrich from Metallica as my boss.
Really?
Or as my label owner. I mean, he was the guy that signed my band
Weird.
Goudie.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So did you spend much time with him?
I spent a lot of time. I spent the night at his house. Like,
What?
I've
Ah.
actually had the experience where he makes you a sandwich before you go to bed. Seriously.
I would imagine he's probably the nicest guy you could ever meet, right? The kind of the opposite of what a little bit of the persona might come across.
He's that guy, but he's nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I mean,
mean-
he says outrageous things that you're
Okay.
like, Jesus. But he was very nice to me. Very
Was-
nice to me and my band.
But he
Was
made
this
you a
in
sandwich.
in the heat of the Napster debate, or no?
Our record came out
Uh-huh.
the Tuesday after the Friday that he delivered the names. So, like, when we first signed to the label, it was great to be signed to, like, a band. We were signed to the dude that was in the band that made up 1/4 of all of Elektra's income. So, basically,
yeah.
we were going to have carte blanche and do whatever we wanted. But when our record came out, he was in a world that was not at all involved with us at that time because of Napster.
Oh, because of the Napster thing. Wow.
Yeah.
Isn't that weird?
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
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 Napster, huh? Now, and do you still have an active MySpace page too?
I think there's a MySpace page out there. I don't know the password, and I don't think you can even see MySpace unless you're in there.
I don't.
Dude,
yeah, I
it's
don't.
okay.
I'm still trying to get
I
back
have
on
one
Friendster.
too. I forgot the password. It's
we-
out there. You can look it up.
we did our research and we're like, I think Johnny's still on MySpace.
Yeah.
No, that's from the Little
couldn't get in
Champions.
there.
From
Yeah.
that, like, 'cause the
Oh,
label that
okay.
put out that record, like,
Yeah.
had someone pimp out my MySpace with my whole thing.
Nice. Okay.
Well, don't try
Remember when
to
you
get a
pimped
hold
out
of him
your
on there.
MySpace?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh man, hours.
I worked there for a while.
You
Oh
did?
really?
Yeah, I was there.
Oh,
yeah.
did you meet Tom?
Oh yeah, yeah. I met
really?
Tom. Oh yeah.
Is he a
yeah,
nice
and I
guy?
met Tom and Chris. Yeah. Chris sat across from me and put his like boots up on the desk and like chatted with me. Did one of these things. I
don't like it.
Yeah, it was
That's
pretty cool.
awesome.
That's rude.
Yeah, I was like, cool. It's Chris DeWolf.
So
Yeah,
do
it's
you
pretty
do
cool.
you still have a password?
Yeah, I might still have your password.
Do you have can you talk to someone that might be able to tell us our password?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I
You
don't-
text Tom?
Isn't it Justin Timberlake now? Doesn't he own MySpace?
I don't even know
MySpace?
him.
Yeah, Justin
Really?
Timberlake. Yeah.
I don't know him either. I'm not.
Yeah. Be nice.
I just-
but you
yeah, I feel
were
like anyone
touring
could own
recently,
it.
right? We were talking before the show.
Yeah, I've done a bunch of shows in 2017 with the Bodines. I did some shows with them, and
I've heard of them. Yeah.
yeah, they're a very cool band. That's been a really amazing thing because I was such a fan from their first record, like when I was in high school.
Yeah.
And the coolest thing about it was I used to sit around and strum acoustic guitar and sing the harmony parts. And then, like, that's the job I got with them, which is weird to be like, you know what I mean? Like 17, like doing that in your room.
Yeah.
And then you look over, 30
And all
years
of a
later, and the
sudden-
guy is standing right
Yeah.
there, and you're like,
Wow.
wow, this is awesome. Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Man, what a cool opportunity.
Speaking of being 17, you want to do another song?
Yes. Why, yes, I would love
Chris,
to.
Was it
Chris's
that natural?
great
That was a-
transitions.
that was a
They're
great
perfect.
transition.
Yeah.
Yes.
They make total sense.
This is a song I wrote called They Made Men Criminals. The truth is out, the rumor's been set in stone. The hero once revered is vilified. The county sheep don't get you any sleep. The bed that once was yours is occupied. They made men criminals. They made men criminals. The war has spread like a nuclear disease. And now here all the stars are horrified. The blood runs red and the wound runs deep. Yeah. Tonight the audience is petrified. They made men criminals. They made men criminals. When broken trust is understood and everyone's up to no good, but you don't help, although you should, and you'd be honest if you could. Yeah, they made men criminals. They made men criminals. They made men criminals. They made men criminals.
All right. Yeah.
Facebook Live.
Nice. Thanks, Hops and Grain. We love
Yes.
Hops and Grain.
We
We're
do love
so
Hops
excited
and
to be here
Grains.
tonight.
Yeah, I do love this place.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
It's one of
Very
our favorites.
cool.
And we live here on the east side, so this is
Me
like,
too.
oh,
Yeah.
nice.
We're all East Siders.
Homegrown.
East Siders. We love the East Side. So thanks, Hops and Grain, for having us. If you have questions, we have a live studio audience. If you have questions tonight, too, please raise your hand and throw them out there because nothing is off limits. This is the tell-all
right.
show.
Yeah.
And-
sorry, I didn't know if you know that, but you do have to answer.
Tell all.
Yeah, it's a tell-all.
All of
Okay.
it.
Tell all.
All of
Well,
it.
but yeah. And if you're watching now live online, send in your questions. Or if you're watching later, send in your questions, and we'll send them to Johnny to
Yeah,
get them
just
to you.
whenever.
Yes.
So I wanted to ask you a little bit about your podcast. How did I get here?
Yes.
You just got started with that, right? It's brand new.
It's brand new.
Brand new?
Yeah.
How many episodes?
I have 671 episodes out.
671.
Yes.
You've been working like a dog
Yeah.
to get those out.
I have been.
So you're obviously a Talking Heads fan. Is that how did I
I'm
get
a Talking
here?
Heads fan. Yeah, I'm a huge
Yeah.
Talking Heads fan. Yeah.
Yeah. That's I love Talking Heads, but
I feel like someday he's gonna hear that. I mean, I know mutual
well,
friends.
with your
Mutual friends have been on my show, and I don't know anyone's told them
Oh
yet.
my
so
God! If you
someday
could get
they might
David
tell 'em.
Byrne on your show, going, "How did I get here?" That would be great.
I just wouldn't want to have David Byrne's lawyer calling me saying that.
Oh yeah.
true.
Isn't there some sort of like less than
Amount-
30 seconds?
Here's
like
what
an
I
amount
think.
you
Here's
can
what I,
take
here's
from a
here's what I
song?
banked on. This is the
Yeah.
honest to God truth
Okay.
because I have given this some thought.
Uh-huh.
Someday he's gonna hear this.
Yeah,
Someone's gonna tell him.
probably.
Someday, if they come to me, he would have to think it was cool.
Oh,
Like, I'm not
yeah, of
us-
course.
I'm not making money off of his
Right.
little piece of song.
Yeah.
I'm using his thing as like, look at
Yes.
our story.
I think
At least
I think
that's what
he
I'm gonna
is
tell
cooler
him.
than that.
Yeah,
I
he's
think
super
I don't
cool.
think. Yeah, David
not a
Byrne.
legit
I will,
just-
and I'm
Yeah.
sure that Claudia, who's working social, is probably tagging him right now.
Yeah.
And I think he's a regular watcher of our
Dude,
show.
Hi, David.
So-
You know what? I bet he is.
Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
But
he's
and,
a
you know,
huge
South
fan.
by, he's got a new album out, so he may be in town. Maybe one of the surprise guests could
That's
show
true.
up on How Did I Get Here?
Yeah.
That would be
How
nice.
did I get
Yeah.
here? So who do you normally have on the show?
Normally, I have musicians,
Cool.
and you know, when I started out, I figured I could do it with. I've been in this scene so long, and I know so many dudes and ladies that I could just call them and be like, "Hey, come over to the show," and then eventually it kind of started picking up. Where now I get sent a lot of bands.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
I still go out and find bands. I still come across a band. I love them, and I ask them to be on the show or a comic or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like I'm
yeah,
at a show,
yeah.
and I'm like, "Hey, be on my thing."
Yeah, for sure.
And
So
some-
what's no?
Sorry.
Go ahead.
So, and I try to get as big of people as I can, but I also like, I like the format of being face to face, and I find that when you get bigger people, you have to do a Skype thing, and it's just not the same. And then
Yeah.
I'm just real nervous. Yeah.
The laptop screen makes you nervous.
Or just like
Technology.
Yeah. You're like, oh, this guy hates me.
What's the common thread there of the podcast?
Well, I mean, it's musician. It's like a conversation between two musicians, but also other people in the arts as well. Just creative people, kind of talking about
Just whatever.
just kind of
Yeah.
their journey and how they got to where they are, and kind
Cool.
of what got them there, what drove them there. You know?
Yeah. I think it's really easy for artists to like kind of relate on that and just riff on it for a while, just because we all sort of experience a similar, or some commonalities in our journeys to wherever we ended up.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
And it
really
seems
cool.
like most everyone is either running from something or trying to run to something that's better than where they are. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
all of us trying to get to this place where
Yeah.
we'll be accepted as
Right.
the weird people that we are. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I think I think it's like people always trying to get to that inner truth and goodness, which Alan Watts says is like trying to look at the back of your own head. So we're never really,
You never really get there.
Yeah, but we are it, So that's also within that, like,
Yeah.
can't bite your own teeth,
No.
as he says.
I
Now,
try.
And somebody, if they were new, because we're gonna have a lot of probably new folks maybe watching the
Right.
show. If they were new to the podcast, are there any particular shows or episodes or guests that you recommend they start with?
Yeah, there are some really great ones. I think that I had a very special one with me, Ian McLaughlin, who played with the Faces and the Rolling Stones before he passed. That was amazing. I had a friend that passed away this last year, George Reef. I did a couple of them with him that I felt were really, one of them, the first one, I did one of them when he was sick, which was really intense and weird, but it was good. And but there's one before where he was like this consummate musician and like perfect sideman that played with everyone from like Joe Walsh, Ringo to Ray Wiley Hubbard and Chris Robinson, the Dixie Chicks, like all these people, like and kind of like getting to what you have to do to be good enough to be in those situations, like, and to stay in those situations. I thought that was like a really educational one.
Oh, cool.
Too, yeah.
Yeah.
Also, my ones with Jamie Harris, I think, are great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was gonna say my favorite too is probably the Jamie and Jane Ellen one right before the holidays.
Oh yeah, that's great. See, but I don't know if that, like, to me, that's just my friends and me hanging
Yeah,
out.
and you
yeah,
could
yeah.
feel that,
Yeah.
and it really came across, which was a fun one to listen to.
Thanks, man. I
Good.
actually I love those girls so much.
Good recommendation.
They actually sing backup on my EP.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, they sang backup on every song. They're the
All
backup
right.
singers.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, we'll have to get Jane Ellen on. We've had Jamie, but we have to get Jane Ellen on the show.
Yeah, she's got some new music coming down the pipe. So, yeah.
Perfect timing then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Okay.
How long have you had your guitar?
I've had this guitar for about a year and a half. I bought it from one of my best friends I grew up with, Jason Swedberg. We've been friends since we were 11, and he deals guitars.
Oh.
He's a dealer. He's a wheeler dealer, and he fixes guitars and stuff, and he came across this one, and he posted a photo of it on Facebook saying that he was thinking about selling it, and I was like, oh, I'm ready for this guitar.
Yeah.
Something
yeah.
about it, I just really liked it. It sounds great.
Yeah,
feels
yeah,
great.
that's
It's a
great. It seems
67.
like- yeah.
So.
And Gibson, right?
A Gibson
Excellent.
J45,
Nice.
for those of you keeping track at home.
And didn't they announce today that they might be going out of business? I think.
Is that
yeah,
true?
Do you guys see that?
did
Yeah,
not
yeah,
see
yeah.
that.
They are
Oh my
struggling.
God.
Yeah, yeah.
Tear
You guys
my
didn't see-
heart
so I'm sorry to
out.
break
What
that to you, but yeah, they are struggling, I guess. Yeah. So
Oh.
I think I saw that today.
Buy
yeah.
more guitars.
kidding
Take
me?
a, buy more
Do you
guitar. Yeah, yeah. I
understand?
Dude,
guess
I'll be
so.
able to buy a house with this thing very soon.
I know. That's, I was surprised
Hey,
too when I
didn't
saw the
think
headline. I
about
was like,
that.
really?
All
Like
right. Well,
they're-
Johnny wants you to go out
there
of
you go.
business.
Well, I'll
Don't
be
buy
able to
guitars.
retire now.
But now that they've been featured on our show, I think they're gonna blow it up.
Yeah, they will blow
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
They're going to
that's
blow up.
True. It's
Yes.
too late. They're already back in the green.
And it's so along the lines of your podcast, you've gotten a lot of advice from a lot of artists. Like you've probably taken in so much knowledge, and then your own
Yeah.
experience itself. Advice for our emerging artists, younger artists, just getting started. You've been on a label. You've been through all of that. What's your advice for some of these artists?
Work really hard. Write as many songs as you can. Write as much as you can, as often as you can, because there's a thing that you get inspiration, and all of a sudden this thing just pours out of you. That happens like 4 or 5 times every 7 years. And so Neil Young says it best when he was asked if he sits down and works on a song or if it comes from inspiration. And he said, it comes from inspiration, but the inspiration only comes when I'm sitting down working on a song. So, I believe in that. I also believe that, especially for people that are here in Austin, because there's such a community, like, go out and make friends. Like, I meet people a lot. Like, I work with the Austin Music Foundation, and I talk to a lot of bands, and they're kind of in a mentoring way. And a lot of them will be like, oh, I emailed this guy from this band to see if I could open for his band. He didn't write me back. And you're like, well, you just asked a stranger for a favor. Like, why don't you go to his show and go up and say hi and tell him you think he's awesome if you think he's awesome.
And also, if you want to play music, I mean, then those are the people you're going to be playing music with, the people at the shows.
Yeah, it's easier. It's easier to get your friends together and book a tour around Texas than it is trying to book you know what I mean? And it's more fun and it's communal and they can be promoted together.
Yeah.
And then it's a vibe too, and people are attracted to come. Oh, all these bands are together. What's going on? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's
that
just
kind
like
of thing
the
really
enjoyment
pays off.
of the whole art.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
That's one thing I feel like I benefited the most, and that's why it was so easy for me to start this podcast, is because I have so many friends and so many close relationships with people in this scene, and that, I mean, I've tried to get out as much as I can out of it in that way.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought Austin Music Foundation, the community, the support here in Austin, and everything that everybody's doing to help the Austin music community.
Yeah.
Let me ask maybe a more controversial question, and I know we're meant to be all funny, but a serious one for you here is, there's a lot of controversy around the Austin music crisis and what's going on today and how challenging it is as a musician. And I know you've got an opinion about it. What's your thought
really
on what's going
do.
on? All right.
It's really hard to do this.
Yeah.
And if you're doing something that's so great, it's undeniable, then a bunch of people are going to come see you play. You're going to make a bunch of money. But if you don't try harder, like, I don't think people look inward. I think that's a bunch of people going like, no one's coming to my show. It's your fault. You know what I mean? As opposed to like, I could probably put on a better show. I could probably do something better, put more into it, like not show up in flip-flops or something. You know what I mean? Like,
it's true. That's true. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Is there a crisis? I think if you expect to make a living, you can't make a living playing in any one city. Just living in that city and play. You have to get a job. You can't, I mean, unless it's Branson and you have your own theater, you know what I mean? You got to get out and do stuff.
Yeah.
So Austin's I'm in Skyrocket. Skyrocket does really well, and Austin is our worst market. We don't sell out at all here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
I mean, we could sell out in Houston, like Fitzgerald's, it's like a 400-something capacity room, like 2 weeks in a row.
Okay.
But in Austin, it's just like a regular thing. I mean, the people come, but we're not.
I think it's also like thinking bigger too. You know, just not not limiting yourself to like, oh, I didn't get in this one club in the town that I live in. It's like, well, why don't I plan a tour and just kind of be in charge of my own destiny, you know? And then you'll learn on the road, you get better, you get
And then people will be interested
tight.
to see what happened when you come back, you know?
I love seeing bands as soon as they get back from tour because they're so tight.
Yeah.
So sharp.
Yeah.
It sounds...
You know, a great example of a band, and it's super over the top, it's Calliope Musicals. They were on my show today.
Yeah,
they won like Band of the Year at the Austin Music Awards last year.
Yeah.
And like, I do talk to those people. Oh, they just give Band of the Year to anyone. And you're like, man, have you ever been to their shows? Like, you're not going to forget it.
No.
For at least 15 years.
Yeah,
you will not forget this show.
Last year. Yeah.
Their
It's
music
crazy.
is great. They're great. They put everything they have into it. They offer something that's a lot more than a band walking up on stage and playing a show.
Yeah.
Right.
You can feel that they really work hard. Like, wow, I got a good deal out of this in a sense.
Yeah.
As an audience, you're like, holy cow, they put a lot into it.
And I mean, I guess like in some sense from what you're saying, they could give it to anybody if they work hard enough, you know, like then it could be anybody, couldn't it? Yeah, but it's them because they work really hard and give us a great show. So, you know, that's it. Pretty simple. Yeah, that's great advice.
Yeah, it's pretty simple advice. Just work real hard and.
Did you ever had like a turning point where you figured that out, like where you just had an epiphany, like
I mean,
I've
I've been in situations where I couldn't get it going,
Uh-huh.
and I just couldn't get people out to shows, but I mean, I'm one of those people that's like, what am I doing wrong? A lot of
Right.
people aren't like that. They're not, it takes a lot to be, and I think also growing up, in this scene, like coming up in this scene, you do have people that are like, hey, that's not a great song. You know, like, I mean, I have a lot of people in my life that are like, yeah, this isn't great.
Yeah.
You know?
I get that a
yeah.
lot.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
not playing
It's
music.
really important, you know?
Bless them. Bless the
But
bless
I did
the older
in that
older
in that
scenesters.
It's a gift.
in that
It
phase
really
of my
is.
career, I got a manager who saw what I was doing, and he was like, "Man, you've got some good songs, but you don't seem like you're really. It's not into focus yet."
Mm-hmm.
And he, like, you know, he just constantly challenged every idea and thing we did
Yeah.
until we did it ourselves, and
Yeah.
that kind of has stayed with me. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then also, you know, you can't always like bend to whatever the label or something is saying. You also just have to be an artist at the end of the
Yeah.
day. And like, if you're gonna do something bold, you know,
do it bold.
do it. Go
Yeah.
for it. Change the script.
And Johnny, before we switch to
Change
another
it.
song, we have just started. We launched our own Patreon page.
Oh, awesome!
Yeah,
Congratulations.
And so, yeah, thanks. One of the things that we're doing is that if you're a patron of the show, you get your own spotlight on the show. It's like basically your own commercial.
Okay.
So, do you know Nicole Wagner, by the way?
I know. Why do I know that
Great
person?
country artist.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
And so she's also a patron of the show. She's been on the guest and then gives back to the show.
Oh, nice.
I know, right?
Nicole.
Like, how many
Aw.
musicians give,
Yeah.
right? Well, we have a
Isn't
few.
that great?
So let me do a quick spotlight for
course.
her. So we have a patron spotlight. So Nicole Wagner here, which we love you, Nicole. She's been on the show. Watch her episode. Nicole's spotlight says, "Hey, love to support this show. Thanks for supporting local artists. And I hope you spotlight my my Kickstarter to support my new album called And the Sky Caught Fire." So you can go to Kickstarter.com and search for Nicole Wagner to support her new album. She
Yeah.
supports us. We support her.
Our
So
patron
Nicole Wagner.
Nicole
Yeah.
Wagner.
Thank you.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So speaking of supporting artists, Johnny, let's hear another song.
Yeah.
I thought you guys were gonna give me like a 20.
Yeah.
Another song. Here's another one from the songs that I recorded. Should I call it an EP? I don't know what to call it.
We're going to come up with a name for the album before you leave.
Okay.
My painting?
I-
Something completely
I
different.
wrote this song with, you guys know Michael Fracasso?
Huh?
Michael Fracasso? I wrote this song with Michael Fracasso.
Cool.
Too small to breathe on my own when Luna Park became my home. Inside a tent of filtered air, I didn't mind while people stared. Incubator doctor, help me now to breathe. Underneath the heaters, give me all I need. Decided to take a peek, step right up and see the freaks. Inside my tent is missing Alice, them looking glass is missing Alice. Incubator doctor, help me now to breathe. Underneath the heater, give me all I need. Will you hold me while I sleep? Give me comfort while I weep. Never let me fall too deep. Wait, I just drew a blank on the last verse. This is something for your Patreon. This is like, wait, don't clap. Don't clap. Don't clap.
You know it. You know what it is. You already have
Oh,
it.
why does this happen? You know, I haven't played these songs much live.
No.
That's all
You
right.
just
Oh, what a
get-
terrible-
We're just live. That's okay.
I actually feel very comfortable right now, though, in this moment. I
I'm-
feel like
Oh,
you guys.
good. Shoot.
Are they okay?
Do you,
Oh,
The
yeah,
TV
yeah.
people?
Oh, yeah, everybody's great at home. I just checked right now. Jamie Harris
Yeah.
is watching. Jamie Harris has been giving a shout.
She is
Kane
watching.
Howard's
She's probably
watching.
glad I
Yep.
didn't mess up the lyrics to the song that we wrote together. But if Michael Picasso is watching, he's going to be mad at me.
I think that Jamie
We're
at least
very
said, don't
sorry,
F this
Michael.
up, I think was her comment. I don't know. I might have missed that.
well, do you want to go back and do it?
No, I do because I really like that last verse.
Yeah. You, okay.
And you know this is the part where we do 2 songs, so you get to make it up by doing a second song.
Okay, let me do a second song.
All right.
And then come back and finish the first. Be the first
Okay.
time in history that's been done.
I'm going to do a song,
and then
ever.
we'll circle around
In the
yeah. Ooh, so it's like 3 songs or 2.5. It's 2.5.
I'm going to do a song that I played a lot because I feel like I was losing it with the songs I haven't. So this is a song called Julia that I wrote with Jane Weedland from the Go-Go's. Julia, sweet Julia, don't you understand, my dear? You're the only girl for me. If only I could make you see, my Julia, sweet Julia, I love your special stillness. I don't want to wake you up, but maybe I can make you up and dream me away from here. Your cold flesh calls me Julia. Lay me down, my dear. You're breathless and free, Julia. Julia, sweet Julia, cut the ties that bound the girl. Silently and pretty too, won't you? Let me crawl inside with you. Dream me away from here. Your cold flesh calls me Julia. Lay me down, my dear. You're breathless and free, oh Julia, yeah, yeah. Julia, sweet Julia, now don't you understand, my dear, how you're the one who understands and come alive at my command and dream me away from here. Your cold flesh calls me Julia. Lay me down, my dear. You're breathless and free, Julia. Dream me away from here. Your cold flesh calls me in, oh Julia. Lay me down, my dear. Oh, you're breathless and free. Stop staring at me, just lie quietly, oh Julia.
Full song.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You're going to finish the first song?
I was just trying to think of the words, but I still can't.
I think we should just let it go.
All right,
No?
all right.
What?
Yeah, that's fine.
Let it go. Let's just
Yeah.
let it go.
Just let it go.
Hey, you know what? Stream the EP when it comes out. Find this, and you'll be like, oh, this is the verse. This is the one he was talking about.
Wait, what was that song called again? The one
It was called,
Oh, you can't remember the name? No.
it's called Luna Park. Because it's about the guy.
Luna Park.
It's kind of based on the story. I read a story in the New York Times a few years ago about the guy that invented the incubator, and he didn't have a way to fund it, so he went to Coney Island, and just got a spot in the freak show, and charged admission to see these babies in incubators, so that he could sustain their lives.
What year
But
was that?
it was like, I think, in the 20s or something.
Wow.
Maybe before, around that time. Then he was vilified, and they closed him down, and they forever he was looked upon as a terrible person who exploited these premature babies.
It doesn't look great that they're in a freak show.
But
I'm
that's the
just
only
saying.
way he could pay
Yeah,
for it.
yeah,
And then later
no.
on in the 2000s, those people were real old, and they're like, no, this guy was great. I wouldn't be here if it weren't for him.
Right,
So,
yeah. Well,
yeah.
I mean, by the same token, they're like checking out people with tattoos and like deformities. So like, who's really the bad guy? You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Like people just trying to get paid, man. Yeah. Have you ever seen that movie Freaks?
No, but I've heard a lot about it.
Yeah, you should check it out. It's
How do you? Is it like on Amazon?
It actually might be on YouTube because it's
Really?
so old.
Okay, 'cause it's weird?
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's only like it's one of those old what am I trying to say? Oh, I'm gonna sound real dumb right now. Or they don't, the sound isn't there and they're talking.
Oh,
but
yeah.
then they have the
It's-
words on the screen.
Okay.
What do you call that?
It's a
silent movie.
Silent movie. Oh, it's that old. Subtitles. Or
Silent
just
movie.
words.
Silent. What's it when you read and you're watching the movie and then you can't hear them? Wow. Okay. Anyway, that they have the actual sideshow freaks in that movie. You should check it out.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
There's another song on my new album called Leper Hands, who is a girl in the freak show as well.
Oh.
There's a lot of freak show
Dude,
vibes.
I
you got a
love
little
freak
like
shows.
carnival
here.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of
Okay.
P.T. Barnum.
Do you think you would have been in a freak show like in that era, or?
I don't know if I have anything freakish about me.
Oh, so you would have been more working in the Great Depression or whatever
Oh,
in
no,
the
I
20s,
I think I would have been a juggling
freak show.
unicyclist in that time.
Oh, I can see that.
unicyclist?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good.
I can totally picture that, you on
Get
a
one of those
unicycle.
mustaches,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the whole
The
thing.
wax thing?
Yeah.
Yes.
I look like I'm on Red
A
River.
big giant. Yeah. yeah.
true.
Exactly. Fit
No
right in.
offense to anyone on
Yeah.
Red River
No,
right
you
now with
guys
wax in their
keep
mustache.
the mustaches. Keep them going. So we were curious about this interview you gave in 1990.
Yeah. We were doing research.
Yeah, we were doing
We
a
do
little
research on this show.
on you.
What did I say?
Well, you mentioned Cheap Trick.
Want me to quote it?
I love Cheap Trick.
So
Yeah.
me to quote it.
Yeah, go
Yeah.
ahead.
So back in 1990, Johnny does this interview, right? So this was Johnny's early days. He mentions that he picked up the guitar playing after seeing a Cheap Trick concert, right? And he realized at the time, because his mom didn't really want him to, or he didn't really want to play guitar. His mom wanted him to.
My mom
but
wanted me, yeah.
He realized this was really the key to get laid.
Yes.
So-
A girl that went with us to that Cheap Trick concert named Veronica, who was 2 years older than me,
Oh, let's tag her.
told me that she would sleep with Robin Zander. And when I said why, she said, I love guys that play guitar. And then I was like, wait a minute. Veronica, I play guitar. And that was it. I like it when nothing happened, but I was like, that's the
Okay.
answer. That's it. Now I'm here.
Yeah, that's funny. It's funny that she had to say that for
Yeah,
you to
for me to-
realize
yeah.
that,
That was
because
the-
it's just clearly like.
I was really
Yeah.
inspired by the concert. Like
Yeah,
there was
sure.
a lot of stuff that was happening between the band members where we were sitting, we could see them look at each other and they would start kind of laughing about something and I was like, I want to be with them.
Yeah.
Like I want to
Yeah.
be on that stage
That
with those guys
camaraderie,
laughing.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, so
I
that's
want
all your
friends.
mom had to say was like, honey, you'll make friends.
Yeah.
And you'll probably get laid.
Yeah.
Yeah, if your
Yeah,
mom would
you'll
just told you
probably
that.
get
She'd just
laid.
been cool.
Johnny,
you know?
go do this, you'll get laid. Yeah.
I think, yeah.
Your mom's roasting you like, why aren't you been
Poor
laid,
thing.
loser?
She would be like that. She's like, what's wrong with you?
Your mom sounds cool.
Yeah. Listen, So
Yeah.
what else? What is that? What is the what?
Yeah, so we did a whole bunch of research because we have access to the interweb. And if you have questions, by the way, if you're watching online, send them here because
send them
we're
here.
tracking it. Yeah,
Because they're
So the
scouring the
other-
internet at this point to find
yeah,
things
check
about
it
me.
out.
That's right. And another one, right? So in another
Same
one
interview.
you said you would rather something you would rather not tell people. At the time, you said I'd rather not tell people that I'm mean.
I'm mean?
You're mean. Yeah, you
I
said
used to
mean.
be really mean.
Yeah, and,
You
and
did?
is that
You're
still?
so nice,
Yeah.
though.
I know.
Okay.
A lot of therapy.
Oh,
I
And a
find
lot
that
of
hard to
letting
believe.
go of stuff, but I
You
was
always-
very mean. That's
Really?
interesting.
Nice guy
yeah.
inside. Yeah.
Wow, that was very honest to me back then.
Yeah, you were straight up. Yeah, you even mentioned that you just got out of the shower on the interview, but I wasn't going to bring that up.
Wow. Yeah, you were telling all. Just yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
Because you're on Wikipedia.
At least I was open about it.
You were, yeah.
So now you don't tell people that you have a mean bone in your body.
No,
'Cause,
there's
I mean,
a
you
lot
would
of
still
people.
have a
There's
mean
a lot
bone
of
in your
I
body
hang-
if it existed, you know.
Right. I hang out with people from my whole life. So there's always someone around where people are like, oh, man, you're the nicest guy. And they're like, oh, dude, listen. One time he tried to kill one of our friends at a party. And so
You tried to kill someone at a party.
I didn't try to kill someone at a party.
Yeah.
We don't have.
I was just trying to think of like something I would have done.
But we need to.
But
like,
I'm sorry, Don Gutierrez. We're still friends.
We
Okay.
should start digging up like old friends of the artists and be like, have them on here and be like, do you remember when?
Ooh,
That would be good.
Yeah. And have them tell a story, and you have to answer to it from like 20 years
Nah,
ago.
don't do that, man.
No.
No, you can do that. I think I could handle it.
So, did you have to learn how to be nice?
No, I didn't have to learn how to
you
be
knew-
nice. I had
you
to
knew
learn how to not be
inside.
mean.
Yeah.
I had to learn
okay.
how to count
Good
to
way
10.
to put it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
That's a good one.
I had to learn that everything wasn't a personal attack
Yeah.
on the depths of my soul.
You
and so
know-
I learned it.
I work customer support, and I think more people should do that.
I think all people should,
Yeah,
you know,
there's-
there's
yeah,
the Sims
take a breather.
Foundation. One of
Yeah,
the great
that's
things,
right.
Sims Foundation saved my life.
Yep.
Seriously.
Oh,
yeah.
Really? Cool.
Yeah, that's a good call. We've done several benefit shows with them.
I
Yeah,
know,
we're
I
doing
saw
one during
recently
South
you
by.
did, yeah.
Yeah, that's right, to support them. Yeah, that's a good cause.
Excellent.
Great cause.
Yeah. So what else are you doing in town? What do you have coming up? I know that the cover band has a show coming up at Sam's Burger Joint in March.
Yeah, that's in March.
March
Yep.
16th,
We're
maybe?
doing March there. We're probably doing Fitzgerald's in Houston in March.
Yeah. What else?
We do a lot of private stuff. I don't have all the info on it yet, but I know I'm doing a thing on the Saturday of South by Southwest at La Zona Rosa, of all places.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, and there's a bunch of people on, like the guy from the Plain White Tees, and I think Love and Chaos,
Oh, nice. Yeah. Great bands.
and that's all I can think of.
yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
And when can we expect the album? When is it coming out? When's it going to be done?
I don't know. I mean, I'm waiting on the mixes. I might even get them tonight
Nice.
or tomorrow.
Okay.
So it could
If
come out
Mark
tomorrow,
Harmon, if you're
honestly.
watching.
Yeah.
yeah.
Why not?
But yeah, and then as soon as that happens and I figure out what avenue I'm gonna do the
Okay.
releasing on, I will let you know.
Hey, and
Cool.
now, normally I would start to wrap up, but you have some fans that came out here tonight. Should we do one more song? We could go a little longer tonight. Should we do another song?
another song?
Johnny, you want another
You guys
song?
want one more
People came out to see
Yeah.
you. So, you okay?
place is
Johnny
coming
heads out
unglued.
here.
Yeah? You want to do one more, and then
I
we'll
will-
wrap
I will.
up?
I'll
Okay.
do one more.
Okay, let's do one more, because I still want to hear the end of that first song.
Just let it go,
Okay,
Chris.
Brian,
Let it go.
can you do me a favor? We reach in the front pocket of that guitar case and pull out the pieces of paper, the one that says Luna Park, and hand it to
Yeah,
me.
because we're not going to let it go. Here we go. We're going to find out
We got it.
the end of this. There we go.
You got it?
Like a like a hothouse flower grows, every baby like a rose. Above our heads a cyclone roars, while Johnny Fox swallows swords. Incubator doctor, help me now to breathe. Underneath the heaters, give me all I need. Incubator doctor, give me now to breathe. Underneath the heaters, give me all I need. It just took seeing one word, man.
I
One
know.
word.
That's what I was
It is.
saying. You know it. You know it's in there.
That
It's
is
in
it.
there.
That was
Yeah.
great.
Oh.
Thank you guys for
Yeah.
having
I
me.
love it.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
this has
thank you
really
for
been a
having
lot
me.
of fun.
Yeah, this has been
Yeah.
super fun.
We're glad to
Yeah,
have you on
yeah.
here. So let's
Yeah,
do a
for
song
sure.
and then
Do a
we'll
song?
wrap up. Yeah, how's
Right.
that? Cool.
I'm gonna go back to my T-Rexishness. My T-Rexishness.
Yeah, yeah, love it.
It's a religion, not a direction. It's here to get you like an infection. It crossed the mountain just to devour you. It came from Hollywood to golden shower you. Everyone wants to make the scene on the back of a magazine, but how'd you get so squeaky clean? On the back of a magazine, on the back of a magazine. They found a halo that couldn't circle you, and now the children, they start to bother you. Just put your coat on, my God, you're fabulous. I know a doctor, he'll get you out of this. And everyone wants to make the scene on the back of a magazine, but how'd you get so squeaky clean? On the back of a magazine, on the back of a magazine. Know what was beautiful has now gone rotten. Are you happy with what you've gotten? They got some pictures with all your clothes off and all the cocaine. It ain't your nose off. Everyone wants to make the scene on the back of a magazine, but how'd you get so squeaky clean? On the back of a magazine, on the back of a magazine, on the back of a magazine, on the back of a magazine.
Give it up, everybody.
Give it up.
Give it up.
Give it up for that moving performance
That's a
of Back of a
command.
Magazine.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's so
thanks for
rad.
coming on
Yeah,
the show.
thank
It's
you.
Yeah, thank you
really
for having me.
it's
Seriously, it was a
super
lot of fun.
Yeah.
And I just want to say also, thanks for the How Did I Get Here podcast.
Oh, thanks.
It's been really helpful for me to learn about artists.
Thank
'cause
you.
We've had a lot of you'll have an artist on.
Yeah,
they'll
yeah,
come
yeah.
on the show. It's
We
been
catch
really
him
nice.
in the promotional run.
Yeah, and I'm a big believer that and that's part of where we got started too. Is some other, the artists supporting artists, this community supporting each other is just really important, and you're a
Yeah.
huge, huge part of that. So
Thank you,
thanks.
man. So are you.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. And so
likewise.
thanks Hops and Grain for hosting us tonight.
Yes,
Thank
Yeah,
you
you,
very
thank
much.
you so much.
Grain.
By the
Thank
way,
you.
can I
Excellent.
recommend?
Yep.
I was drinking the one and only. Wait, the one they call Zoe Pale Lager.
Oh yeah.
So
That
it's
is
right
a
there.
very
I'm gonna
popular
finish
one.
it. Great
Yeah.
one. Maybe I'll get another one.
That is a good one.
And I like the mosaic.
Yeah, and a Mosaic I'm a fan of. And then where are you at next?
Yeah.
Tomorrow, I'm
What?
going to be at Cuvée Coffee for the Mystery Music Show. We'll be doing
Nice.
some stand up there. So, like jokes.
That's
yeah,
right.
I'm going to be doing that
Okay.
over there. And then I don't know who the band is. I think it's a jazz band.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
'cause,
it's a
we got the
mystery.
comedy tomorrow, and then there's 3 mystery artists playing that have sold out venues in town that are going to be at Cuvée tomorrow. You show up and you find out who they are, but they've sold out places.
What time is that?
Just 7 to 9 p.m. It's just it's a nice, and it is my birthday too.
No way.
It's Chris's
It is.
birthday.
So you should come out to Cuvée tomorrow. Yeah.
Go put some
All right,
fireworks
all right,
or
all right.
something.
But
We'll
hey,
do something. Yeah.
But yeah, thanks Hops and Grain. By the way, too, if you really want one of these really soft music firsthand T-shirts, we have them here, really, really cheap. Thanks to New Standard Manufacturing, which we love.
Shout out to them.
It's our favorite.
Very
Yes,
soft,
that's
I've
right.
heard.
Yep.
Yes.
And you can actually get them online right now if you go to musicfirsthand.live/shop until midnight of my birthday. You can get them for like $13. You can just go on there.
That is
All you gotta do is
cheap.
put in the code firsthand. I know.
Hand.
First hand, you
Wow.
get a shirt, $13, really cheap.
you believe that?
Yeah. Next week, we're back at 7 p.m. Every Tuesday, 7 p.m. We do this show, and we do it with a group of volunteers. So next
right.
week we're back with a band called Fierce Kelly, which is just a lot of fun. They are just a lot of fun. But let me thank Melody Shiflett. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Ben Levy, Brett Winning running our sound. Claudia, my wife, over here running social. We do this because we volunteer our time every week because we really love showcasing Austin musicians and we love being in Austin. And so, Johnny, thank you so much for coming on the show
man.
tonight.
Thank you both.
It's been really fun.
Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Thanks, Hops and Grain. Stick around. Say hi to Johnny. Drink up. Lots of Hops and Grain. Thank you, guys. Good night.